Sarah stared at the cup. It was supposed to be a hot vanilla latte. It was supposed to be her morning treat. But when she touched the ceramic mug, it was cold. Ice cold. She looked at the counter. The barista, a tall man with a beard, was very busy. He was shouting names. He looked stressed. Sarah's heart started to beat fast. Thump thump. Thump thump. She wanted to take the coffee back. She paid $5 for this. But a voice in her head whispered, "Don't be difficult. Don't make a scene. Just drink it." She picked up the cup. She raised it to her lips. She was about to drink the terrible, cold coffee, just to avoid an awkward conversation. But before we see if Sarah finds her voice. Hello, English learners. I am so happy you are here today. In this episode, you will learn English by listening to the story of Sarah, a woman who is terrified of conflict. Today, we are talking about a very difficult social skill: how to complain politely. In many cultures, and especially in the UK and USA, there is a fine line between being assertive and being rude. We will learn how to cross that line gracefully. To help you, we are going to focus on 3 specific power words that will appear in our story: dissatisfied, resolution, and tone. Are you ready to speak up for yourself? Let's begin the story. Sarah was a graphic designer living in the busy city of Chicago. She was kind, hardworking, and very polite. In fact, she was too polite. If someone stepped on her foot on the bus, Sarah would say, "I'm sorry." If a waiter brought her the wrong food, she would eat it anyway. She hated confrontation. Let me say that another way. To hate confrontation means to be afraid of arguments or fighting. Sarah wanted everyone to be happy, even if it meant she was unhappy. On this particular Tuesday, Sarah was having a bad day. Her alarm clock didn't ring. She missed her bus. And it was raining. She needed something to make her feel better. She needed a pick-me-up. She saw a new café on the corner called The Roasted Bean. It looked fancy. It smelled like heaven, like roasted nuts and dark chocolate. She decided to treat herself to a large, hot vanilla latte. She walked inside. The line was long. The barista behind the counter was named Mike. Sarah knew his name because he was wearing a name tag, but also because he was shouting very loudly. Next. Who is next? Large mocha for Dave. Mike shouted. Mike looked intimidating. He was moving very fast, throwing cups and slamming the register drawer. Sarah felt small. She rehearsed her order in her head 3 times. Large vanilla latte. Large vanilla latte. Large vanilla latte. When she finally got to the front, she smiled. "Good morning," she said softly. "Could I please have a large vanilla latte?" Mike didn't look up. He was typing on the screen. $5.50. Name: Sarah. Okay, Sarah. Wait at the end. Sarah moved to the end of the counter. She waited. And waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 10 minutes. She watched other people get their drinks. Finally, Mike slammed a cup down on the counter. "Vanilla latte for Sarah," he yelled. Sarah grabbed the cup. She was already late for work. She rushed out of the door and into the rain. She took a sip, expecting warm, sweet milk. But it wasn't warm. It was lukewarm. Actually, it was almost cold. And worse. It wasn't vanilla. It tasted like hazelnut. Sarah hated hazelnut. She stopped walking. She stood under an awning to hide from the rain. She looked at the cup. She was dissatisfied. Let me rephrase that. To be dissatisfied means you are not happy with what you received. It is a formal and polite way of saying, I don't like this. Sarah had a choice. Option A. Throw the coffee in the trash, lose $5, and go to work sad. Option B. Go back into the scary cafe, face the scary barista, and ask for a new drink. Her stomach turned. She hated option B. She imagined Mike shouting at her. She imagined everyone in the cafe looking at her and thinking she was a Karen, a difficult, annoying customer. But then, she remembered something her father used to tell her. Sarah, you teach people how to treat you. She took a deep breath. She turned around. She walked back toward the roasted bean. She wasn't going to be rude. But she was going to get what she paid for. Inside, the cafe was still busy. Mike was wiping the counter with a rag. He looked even more stressed than before. Sarah walked up to the counter. She didn't shout. She waited until Mike looked at her. You again? Mike said, stopping his work. Did you forget sugar? Sarah felt her face get hot. This was the moment. She needed a resolution. A resolution is a solution to a problem. Sarah didn't just want to complain, she wanted a fix. She wanted a resolution. Hi, Sarah said. Her voice shook a little, but she kept her chin up. Actually, there is a problem with my drink. The cafe went quiet. Or maybe, it just felt quiet to Sarah. What's wrong with it? Mike asked, crossing his arms. I ordered a hot vanilla latte, Sarah said clearly. But this drink is lukewarm, and it tastes like hazelnut. I am afraid I can't drink it. Mike looked at the cup. He looked at Sarah. He sighed. It was a long, loud sigh. Look, lady, I'm really busy. Are you sure you didn't order hazelnut? Most people order hazelnut. This was the test. Mike was trying to blame her. He was being defensive. Old Sarah would have said, oh, maybe I did. Sorry. But new Sarah stood her ground. She thought about her tone. Sarah is in the middle of the battle. But before we see how she handles Mike's attitude, let's look at the power words she is using to stay calm. Word number 1, dissatisfied. This describes the feeling when something is not good enough. It is better than saying angry or mad. It sounds professional. Example: I was dissatisfied with the service at the hotel, so I wrote an email to the manager. Word number 2, resolution. This is the result, or the solution to a conflict. When you complain, you are looking for a resolution. Example: we talked for an hour and finally reached a resolution that made everyone happy. Word number 3, tone. This refers to the sound and emotion in your voice. Your words might be polite, but if your tone is aggressive, you will seem rude. Example: he said sorry, but his angry tone made me feel like he didn't mean it. Host: okay. Sarah needs to keep her tone steady. Let's go back to the counter. I am sure, Sarah said. She kept her tone low and calm. She didn't sound angry, she sounded disappointed. I know you are very busy, and I appreciate your hard work. But this is not what I ordered. I would like a remake, please. She used the magic structure. 1. Empathy, I know you are busy. 2. The fact, this is not what I ordered. 3. The request, I would like a remake. Mike looked at her. He saw that she wasn't screaming. She wasn't being mean. She was just stating a fact. His shoulders relaxed. He stopped crossing his arms. Okay, Mike mumbled. Let me see the cup. He took the cold coffee. He sniffed it. Yeah. That's hazelnut. My bad. The machine has been acting up all morning. It happens, Sarah said kindly. Mike turned around. He grabbed a fresh cup. This time, he didn't rush. He steamed the milk carefully. He pumped the vanilla syrup. He poured the espresso. Here, Mike said. He slid the new cup across the counter. Hot vanilla latte. Sorry about the mix-up. Then, Mike did something surprising. He reached into the display case and pulled out a large chocolate chip cookie. Take a cookie, he said. On the house. For the trouble. On the house means it is free. The restaurant pays for it. Sarah smiled. A real, big smile. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Have a better day, Mike said, already turning to the next customer. Sarah walked out of the shop. The rain was still falling, but she didn't mind. She took a sip of her coffee. It was hot. It was sweet. It was vanilla. She took a bite of the free cookie. It tasted like victory. She realized that complaining didn't destroy the world. The building didn't fall down. Mike didn't hate her. By speaking up politely, she got exactly what she wanted, and a cookie, too. She walked to work feeling taller. She realized that being polite doesn't mean being silent. It means respecting others, but also respecting yourself. Sarah learned that day that your voice is a tool. If you use it with the right tone, you can solve almost any problem. Remember, people want to help you, but you have to tell them what you need. The moral of the story is this: you cannot get what you don't ask for. Now, I have a question for you. I want to know about your experiences. Have you ever sent food back at a restaurant? Or were you too shy? Tell me your story in the comments below. Did you eat the cold soup, or did you speak up? If you want to build your confidence and learn English that you can use in the real world, please click subscribe and listen to this episode next. We are going to talk about how to say no to invitations without losing friends. Thank you for listening. Watch your tone, seek a resolution, and I'll see you in the next story.